Excellent afternoon to you. Hello and welcome to Business Trends with me, Tolu Ajayi. Nigeria, Africa's biggest economy, is beset with many uncertainties as well as endless possibilities. The synergy of the public and private sector is pivotal to the emergence of a sustainable economic growth pattern that will benefit all citizens. Watch Business Trends, the platform where experts, public and private sector policy strategists, CEOs and regulators share their views and opinions on the growth prospects of the nation's economy. It's my pleasure to welcome you to Business Trends for today with me, Tolu Ajayi. Watch Business Trends at this time. The program is a platform where we discuss trending business and financial issues. Do join us again. Welcome back. President Dangote Group Aliko Dangote was on Friday decorated as a patron of the Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce. We'll bring you the report. Leading the entourage of NBCC, its president, Prince Adedapo Adelegon, says the investiture is in recognition of the goodwill of the global industrialist of African descent and his immense contribution to the economic growth and diversification of the nation's economy.
First, because we recognize the role you are playing in globalizing the country. If people talk about branding of a country, it is not about advertising. It's about the quality of its entrepreneurs and their strides across the world. And for us, you are the #1 brand for the country today. That even in the midst of our challenges, your stride across Africa and different parts of the world is giving everybody the confidence that Nigeria is on top of its game. We just have a bit of challenges. So as a chamber, we are proud to be associated with you. We want to associate more with you. We want to be able to support your aspiration. And that was the reason the council accepted 2 years ago that we should confer on you that patronship. And you have justified in the last 2 years, bigger things have happened. We are also conscious of the social services of the Dangote Foundation, the impact in various sectors across. So we'd like to congratulate you again and say we pray that Allah continues to strengthen you and give you long life and continue to be of service and a motivation to a generation.
Amen.
Because when you look at the story of Nigeria, sometimes it's hopeless. But when people listen and see what we're doing, we say, well, there's hope.
Yes.
So we pray that you continue to move from strength to strength. Beyond the event that we hope you would host when you're back, we, through Coyote, about 2 years ago, when we laid the foundation of our chamber, if you recall, we wrote and sought your assistance in supporting us with cement. It's a 4-story chamber at Lekki Phase 1, and we have laid the foundation. As a matter of fact, we have started building, and we have some off-takers already. Lagos State government is interested in putting in whatever there. First bank. But our budget has been 3 times increased by the drop in the value of dollars, and we will plead that any support we can get in terms of cement will be happy. And for that, the council has also agreed.
You're building direct?
We're building. We have a contractor.
No, I mean, you have a contractor.
We have a contractor.
Hope it's not one of these big...
No, medium-sized.
It's a very medium-sized
one.
You can't even afford it.
Yeah, because otherwise they do pepper soup with it.
So in consideration of that anticipated support, we have said that the Chamber's conference room, when it's finished, will be named Aliko Dangote. You deserve it if you don't give us a bag of cement. Yes. That's the truth. You deserve it. If you are the one that produces cement, then why can't we ask if we're in front of you? The third request is that once you are a patron, the organization you represent in Chamber must move from the ordinary membership to premium membership. The premium is the highest category of membership. You have 8 banks, Diageo, Seplat, all the major banks, Standard Chartered, First Bank, Access, they're all members.
Given his brief remarks, the new patron and president Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, who recently clocked 60, expressed gratitude for the honor. He also pledged to support the chamber in its effort to build a befitting secretariat and to see Nigeria's economy experience transformation.
And also, I want to assure you we'll try and assist as much as we can in supporting you to build your own, secretariat. And I truly appreciate you, naming, boardroom, Aliko Dangote, whole boardroom. We truly appreciate that. You can take it, that we'll definitely keep partnering with the chamber, and it is one of our. It's not really we don't participate in things like this. Just that we're overwhelmed with so many activities and so many demands, and also we've been a bit unfair to ourselves. Apart from expanding in almost 18 other African countries, you can imagine when we started all these projects, we did not anticipate any. We didn't anticipate that people like Kayode will encourage the government to go and do devaluation.
Inside the government.
No, I'm joking, but at least we didn't anticipate that. But despite that, we said that no, we are not going to really cut down. We are continuing with our this thing. Things are a bit tough, but that does not mean that we are going to cut out our own responsibilities. And I think this year and next year, our even foundation will be giving more money out than ever. Maybe it might be in terms of naira, but I don't want to say precisely, but we're giving over 20 billion in donations within these 2 years. And
Dangote also gave some insight into the reconstruction of the Apapa Wharf Road, which he says has cost business interests in the axis billions of naira in losses and untold hardship to commuters.
Recently, which we've been pressurizing the government, is this Apapa Road, because we've been pressurizing them for the last 1 year. We just signed last 6 days, even though it was late, because right now there is actually no movement in Apapa. Yeah, it's gridlock really. We have almost shut down all our operations there, because you cannot get in, you can't get out. So, but it's one of the things that we really love doing without making too much noise. Yes, it's true. We'll partner with the chamber, and also to let the chamber know exactly what we are doing, what we are up to. Because one of the most unfortunate things is that because we are not noisemakers, so people don't really understand what we are doing or what we are even up to, in terms of this. But there are major things which will actually diversify and also transform the economy of of the country. But it's not what we are doing that is important. It's actually giving other people courage to follow suit. If they see us doing, then they will follow. And obviously, it doesn't matter. No matter how strong you are, if you are one person as an army, for example, and you have 1,000 people also joining you, it will show a very, very good, result. So that's the main reason why we're going into several sectors, farming and co. It's not that we have a limited amount of money, it's just that, we just believe in the country, we believe in the economy, and we believe in the future also. We know that, yes, definitely Nigeria is like a scratch card, which we have not scratched yet. So, in this country, a great country, yes, but unfortunately, we don't have the right direction. Once we sort out things like now, government is doing quite a lot to figure out what's best to do. The new Nigerian, industrial revolutionary plan, I think will really help to get the country out of the woods. It's not really. It's very shameful that we're a recession, but you can see that there is quite a lot of emphasis on agriculture, and that will help. quite a lot. Government, they have done very well in terms of agri. Like what I was explaining to somebody last year, just to give you an example, Hajj fares were 500,000, and majority of the people that could afford the Hajj fare were people from the cities. And this year, because of the devaluation and some additional expenses, it has moved to 1.5 million. But almost a little bit more than 80% of the people who paid are farmers. So that shows you the strength of agriculture. And if Nigeria can actually just target 5 products, those 5 products can actually give more income than oil. So really, it's not that we don't have what it takes to transform the economy. It's the political will that we need to just focus and face and do this, so that we can get out of all this. 19 states have not paid salaries, or 5 states have not paid salaries, because people can fend for themselves. So I think that partnership between ourselves from the private sector, which includes the chamber, we need to really help the government and give them honest advice and continue to partner with them, so that the country will be greater, because we shouldn't be where we are. There's no need for us to be where we are today.
At the diamond age of 60, Aliko Dangote has become a remarkable brand, creating value for the Nigerian economy and capital market. With a market capitalization of 2.91 trillion naira for his companies, Nigeria is blessed with a humble, simple, and courageous businessman who is eager to change the entire socio-economic landscape with shared prosperity for the citizens. Nigeria, Africa's biggest economy, is beset with many uncertainties as well as endless possibilities. The synergy of the public and private sector is pivotal to the emergence of a sustainable economic growth pattern that will benefit all citizens. Watch Business Trends, the platform where experts, public and private sector policy strategists, CEOs and regulators share their views and opinions on the growth prospects of the nation's economy. It's my pleasure to welcome you to Business Trends for today with me, Tolu Ajayi. Watch Business Trends at this time. That was indeed a befitting cap for Aliko Dangote. You're watching Business Trends. Next, I sat down with the global industrialists to discuss the shared responsibility of the reconstruction of the Apapa Wharf Road, the Dangote Foundation, and how the nation can get a better advantage going into trade relations with the UK and of course the EU in the areas of commodities, among many other economic issues. The President, Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, thank you very much for being my guest on Business Trends. Your decision to share the responsibility of the Apapa Wharf Road repair is really commendable, especially at this time. But is it a tax-deductible expense on the part of you and other stakeholders involved?
No, not really. It's not a tax-deductible expense. The taking over and also building of the Apapa Wharf Road was, my personal idea. We, from the Dangote group, we wrote to the government to allow us to build the road, free of charge. So there was a design that was done, and later on, Flour Mill said that no, they would like to come in and share the cost with us. And as we go along the process, now the government said that no, because they want to have a very robust design where all the pipes, cables, everything will now be done underground, which really turned the cost, to be much more than the 2 billion that we wanted to donate before. Anyway, at the end of the day, it took us almost over 1 year for us to get approval from the government to now, proceed with building the road. And what we did was to get our own construction company, AG Dangote, to build the road at cost. That's one aspect of our own donation. And then the second part, we are now to contribute between Dangote and flour mills 2.5 billion naira, and then the 1.8 billion is Nigerian Port Authority. I think by building that road, the road will actually last for more than 50 years or more with no maintenance at all. So it doesn't matter what what the rains or whatever. The drainage will be very robust and it can really stand any kind of flooding. But we are doing that, no tax deductible. It's just corporate social responsibility that we're doing.
The Dangote Foundation, what informed its setup and what do you intend to achieve or leverage with it?
No, well, it's been on for a very long time. Dangote Foundation has been on. It was actually, well, I started it just feeding people and, just out of giving back, for the cause of Almighty God, whatever God has, blessed me with, or what God has actually been blessing me with, to share with the needy, or people who really need my help. And in 1994, I now decided to officially list the, register the foundation as a non-profit, which was February, March 1994. So you can see that it's not really a young foundation. It's been there, for long. And then we keep on giving, much more endowment, which the last one was about $1.25 billion, which we gave, to the foundation, to continue, giving back. And, we have a very robust budget, of which 70% we spend in Nigeria, 20% other African countries. But right now, and 10% the rest of the world. But right now, we're doing quite a lot heavily in Nigeria.
Yes. During your investiture by the Nigeria British Chamber of Commerce as a patron of the chamber, you alluded to the fact that the issue about Nigeria when it comes to diversification really is direction, especially in the area of agriculture. Can you explain a little bit on this?
Well, you see, when you look at it, because unfortunately for all of us, we've been consumed with this oil psyche, in the sense that Nigerians, everybody, even the villager coming from the village, he wants to also get his own allocation of his own oil. But if we focus on agriculture, it will actually be much, much better. It's the fastest way of diversification and also industrialization of the country. And it is really not good for us as a country to have, by 2020, which is in the next 3 years maximum, we are going to be about 210 million in terms of population. So 210 million population, and we don't have what it takes to feed ourselves. I think it's very, very dangerous. So we need, first of all, create that food security, and then also push in terms of export, because there's no amount of food that you cannot sell. And most of our neighbors, they're all importing, food. So if we do that, it's going to help. Like what I said today, for you to now go in Edo State alone, you can get something like about maybe 6 million hectares of land. But even if they will just use 300,000, 5% of that, 300,000 hectares of land can give you 1.2 million tons of palm oil in. And you can get this with just about $1.5 billion of investment. But every year, your local selling price will be something in the region of 400 billion. 400 billion is a lot of money. So you can see that you empower people. Most state governments, they don't have to now go cap in hand every end of the month to go to Abuja and collect money to pay salaries. Because what you need is not only payment of salaries, empowering people and enriching people. Well, that's the long term. Otherwise, we are not creating jobs, we are not empowering people. It's going to be very, very dangerous.
How do you think Nigeria can get a better deal, as it were, going into trade with the UK, the EU, in the areas of commodity?
Well, we can have quite a lot of, access to market. They can give us, access to market, and that will be, extremely very good. Both Europe and UK, because going forward in the future, we will be the bread basket of the world. And Africa and Nigeria will play a bigger role and a bigger part, because we have what it takes. We have the weather, which is very important. We have the water, and then we have the land, the best land you can get.
Where is Dangote as a group? Where is it heading?
Oh, we're heading to greatness. We're heading to becoming one of the global 500 fortune companies very soon. Our target is that we should be there between now and the next, between now and 2020. We're going to be there by the grace of God.
And finally, Aliko Dangote, what word do you have for upcoming entrepreneurs who are having issues, challenges with sustainability?
Well, my own advice with them is that they should remain focused. There's nothing that is impossible. That's number one. And number two, we are blessed. This country is blessed. And if you are looking for a place to really crack your brain and make money, this is the place. The future is greater than what we are seeing today. Because if you look at, today, like what I keep saying, Nigeria is a scratch card that you have never actually scratched. You have bought the card, but we have not scratched the card. So future is much greater than what we are seeing. Once we can focus, like what I said earlier on, we can make this country great. And we will all be very proud to be Nigerians. We will hear of all this noise of what is happening.
The President, Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, I want to thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with me on business trends. Have the assurances of my best wishes as well. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Nice to be here.
Nigeria, Africa's biggest economy, is beset with many uncertainties as well as endless possibilities. The synergy of the public and private sector is pivotal to the emergence of a sustainable economic growth pattern that will benefit all citizens. Watch Business Trends, the platform where experts, public and private sector policy strategists, CEOs and regulators share their views and opinions on the growth prospects of the nation's economy. It's my pleasure to welcome you to Business Trends for today with me, Tolu Ajayi. Watch Business Trends at this times. That's Business Trends for today. Many thanks for being there. I am Tolu Ajayi. Let's do it again, same time tomorrow. Do share your views and comments using our social media platforms right there on your screen. Bye for now.